Manchester United are back at Old Trafford again this week. Tuesday we host Everton, and I'm hoping that this game is a bit more open than the game against West Brom. Too many players were out of that game, and Manchester United for some reason couldn't get over the line. Now that is no excuse. We should have still got the 3 points in that game. That team, I thought, was still good enough to get the 3 points in that tie, but a lack of creative options on that pitch in that game against West Brom really did cost Manchester United, because you were looking for maybe a moment of brilliance from Mkhitaryan, Marshall or Rashford, and it just didn't happen on that given day, which is disappointing. One of them's really got to step up to the mark when games are tight, when there's little creativity, little chances on the pitch. We didn't create enough chances in that game. I'm expecting a lot more in this game. We're going to hopefully see some better players coming back into the starting lineup for this game. Herrera and Zlatan will be back, which is great news. So David De Gea will of course be back in goal. Had very little to do in that game against West Brom. This is going to hopefully be a lot more open than that game. Then I think we probably will see a similar back four. He may choose to bring someone in, but I would expect it to be again probably Ashley Young, Valencia, and then Rojo and Bay at the back. I'm not too keen on Ashley Young playing, but it needs must at the moment. He could choose to bring in Luke Shaw, but I don't know what the problem is with Luke Shaw. He was training at the end of the game after that West Brom game, was apparently the last one out on the pitch, trying to prove a point to Jose Mourinho that he should be in his plans, and hopefully he can get some football over the next few weeks if he doesn't feature in this game. Could also see Darmian, anyone at left back, but I don't know what the left back situation is. A bit of a problem at the moment for Manchester United. Midfield, we should see Herrera come back into the team. There's no reason why he shouldn't. He's back from his ban. Herrera, Pogba and Carrick should be back. Pogba hopefully will be back in that starting lineup. We've really missed them players in that midfield for that game against West Brom. Then Zlatan has got to come back into this starting lineup. People were saying we didn't miss him against West Brom, but one moment of magic from Zlatan could have won us that game. He is potentially a match winner on any given day. He's our leading scorer by a long way this season, and quality forward players will, at times, we've seen that with Cristiano Ronaldo over the years. When he was at Manchester United, we would win 1-2-0. Cristiano Ronaldo would have both the goals. We may have created little chances in that game, but he would come up with a moment of brilliance, maybe a free kick, maybe a wonder goal from out the blue. Something that would just get Manchester United over the line, and that is what quality strikers can do. We may well have drawn that game had Zlatan been playing as well, but it is potentially, when he's on the pitch, he has got the potential to do something great, and we just didn't see that with the likes of Rashford and Martial. Rashford and Martial may well be out on the wings. I don't know. Probably I would go for maybe Mkhitaryan out on one side and Martial on the other. It is difficult to know what he's going to go with in this game. He may choose to not play one of the midfielders if Pogba's not fit. He may choose to play Mkhitaryan again in that number 10 role. We will have to wait and see. It depends whether Pogba's fit, to be honest, because he does often play that midfield. Well, he might even take out Michael Carrick for this game and keep Fellaini in there. But we will have to wait and see the team sheet because of injuries and God knows what at the moment. He says the likes of Phil Jones and Smalling are out for the long term, but that might be mind games again. We may see them back in a few weeks' time. I think they look a bit more serious than to be back in sort of 1 or 2 weeks, but maybe sort of four weeks, and we could see them back. So whether he calls that long term or not, we're just going to have to wait and see. He says all he cares about is the players that are currently fit. So we haven't actually heard from Jose Mourinho yet, but it did look like Pogba was training at the end of that game against West Brom. And we do need players like that. Okay, he's only got four Premier League goals this season, but that is actually more than Martial and Rashford have actually got. So he's actually scored more than them. So, and he is still a decent player to have in midfield. It's better to have him in there than Fellaini. Everyone's got to admit, but we've really got to watch out for Everton's threat. They've got no Seamus Coleman, which is a threat down the right-hand side for them. It's been a fantastic player for Everton over the years. They've got Leighton Baines, who has been very good over the years at set pieces. We've seen him score penalties against Manchester United. We've seen him miss penalties. He's a good free kick taker, so we've got to obviously watch out for him on the set pieces. Ross Barkley didn't have the best game against Liverpool, so he's in and out at the moment. But Romelu Lukaku, okay, a lot of people are saying he hasn't performed well in the big games, but who knows, he could well turn up in this game. He is probably the biggest threat for Manchester United in this game. Could we see Morgan Schneiden as well? I don't know if he's fit or not, but he's a player that could come back to Manchester United, could have a stellar performance in that midfield if he's picked. And it would be a real kick in the teeth if he becomes man of the match in this game. I thought he was going to be a very decent player for Manchester United when we did sign him, but it didn't work out that way. Didn't get enough football towards the end of his Manchester United career, and sadly ended up being sold to them. I think it's going to be a really difficult game for Manchester United, this one. I know Liverpool beat them comfortably only a couple of days ago, but we're not playing very well at home. But I'm hoping for a bit more of an open game in this one, and I'm going to go put my neck on the line and say Manchester United win this game 2-1. I don't know what actually makes me think that, considering our home form hasn't been great this season. We did draw 1-1 with them away, which was a kick in the teeth in that one because we gave away a stupid penalty. But I just think this game may be a bit more open. That game against West Brom, I think if we'd got an early goal, we may well have won it sort of pretty comfortably in the end. But it was that early goal that just never happened. This game, hopefully, being a bit more open, we could create a bit more space and hopefully score a couple of goals. I mean, if what I do not want Manchester United to do is be there or thereabouts in the race for top 4 and then miss out through the Euro, and by doing that we get a number of injuries and it kills us in the Europa League. That is the problem. If we do fuck up in the Premier League, I want us to be completely out of the race for the top 4 rather than just too far away, but to get it, because we've got some difficult games coming up on the horizon. And I personally not too sure we're going to make the top 4 now. And if we do keep putting all our eggs into this basket, if we do drop any more points, I think we will have to fuck it off, because it's going to be too hard to do both, concentrate on both, because we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast this month. And if we fuck it up and lose too many players to injury, it's going to be too hard in that Europa League, because we do not want to go on the side that we played against West Brom going into the Europa League, even if it is only against Anderlecht in that game, home and away. We've got them coming up on the horizon in a week or so's time, so just over a week, so it's going to be difficult. He's really got to get the team selection right. He may well change a few from my lineup. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Do you think at this moment in time we should prioritise the Europa League? I think we should give it the next 2 games. If we slip up against Everton or Sunderland, then I would say completely fuck off the league and then just concentrate on that Europa League. Play a few youngsters in the Premier League, the likes of 2-1 Zebby, maybe Wilcock could get a game, a run out, maybe 1 or 2 others from the youth team could maybe potentially come in and give them a run out. I think that would be fantastic if we do fuck any more football up in this Premier League. If we drop 2 more points, that would leave us way too far behind for me in getting into that top 4, which if it's almost impossible to get in the top 4, then there's no point in trying. We might as well just then go for the Europa League. If we don't win the Europa League either, then we haven't lost anything if the top 4 race is completely gone, because we've still got to play all the top 4 the teams up in the top 4. Besides Liverpool, we've got to play all them top teams: Chelsea, Man City. We've got to play Arsenal and Tottenham. 3 of them are away, so I think the top 4 is going to be really, really difficult. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think we should prioritise the Europa League? I think a lot of people do. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.